Hello and welcome back to the breakfast show. Good morning, good afternoon. We are back here with, well, I think the first big earnings report, earnings player of this earnings season with ASML. Good morning, Jose. How are you today?
Good morning, Neil. Pretty good. Maybe better than some ASML shareholders. I did see the stock was down a bit. It's still early on my side, so I haven't looked at the numbers. We'll probably look at it together here today. And shout out to everybody joining us, Josh, Chris, SSB, Manuel, No, and everybody else here, HM. Appreciate you guys. I mean, this is what makes the show so much fun, is we get to interact, get questions from you, and sometimes hopefully most of the time provide some value in this back and forth Neil and I like to go. But yeah, Neil, I mean, I think, yeah, like you mentioned, earnings season is on full swing now, which is pretty exciting. It's probably going to make this show even a little bit more exciting in general. And maybe we can even look at those questions, because ASML is a very top, one of the tops, if not the top player in forms of like this semiconductor pyramid. It is the top player there. So yeah, we can kind of see how it might trickle down across to other players as well.
Exactly. Well, we're going to first touch on ASML, what they reported. Their earnings call is, well, their call. It's basically a video, so we can maybe have a listen to that as well. I'll put it on 1.25, so it does go a little bit faster than that. But yeah, hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this early. Well, this early. If you're in the US, if you're in Europe, then it's in the afternoon. So thank you for taking the time to come and join us. So at the time of streaming, ASML is actually down around 7%. Let me pull this up. So it's down around 7% at the moment here. We can of course look at all of this on our nice little partner, well, not little, nice partner here of the channel, fiscal.ai. So you might think it's down 7%, probably a bad quarter.
Yeah, the first thing I when I saw that 7% is like, man, I wonder if booking numbers were horrible. Again, I only saw it really quickly, but doesn't, at least from that aspect, bookings weren't that bad. 5.5 billion versus 2.3 billion a year ago, and versus it was like 4 billion, I think, last quarter. So a nice improvement from last quarter and from a year ago. I did see some kind of post on Twitter. Maybe they talk about it here. There was maybe some commentary that management said that might be scaring investors. And let me see if I can find this a little bit while you go through it here.
Yes. So, by the way, this is of course a European company, so everything in billions is in billions of euros. So Q2 total and net sales 7.7 billion euros, gross margins of 53.7%, and net income of 2.3 billion euros here as well. Quarterly net bookings in Q2 was 5.5 billion euros, of which 2.3 is in EUV. And so we can see here the increase in net bookings quarter over quarter, right? Net bookings in Q1, 3.9, now 5.5. Gross profit basically flat, but did come down a little bit. Same with gross margins here, 54% in Q1, 53.7% in Q2. Not such a big difference. Net income, of course, is having a bit of the same impact, down a little bit quarter over quarter. Now, we can, of course, have a
Yeah, and this is where it's we'll look at it, but it's paragraph 3, Neil, that I believe is
yeah.
creating a lot of the negative sentiment towards the stock right now.
Yeah, so the first part is the numbers basically that we went over right now, plus a couple of shipments that they've made with very long names, as you can see right here. Now, paragraph 3, looking at 2026, we see that our AI customers' fundamentals remain strong. Okay, that's good. At the same time, we continue to see increased uncertainty driven by macroeconomic and geopolitical developments. Therefore, while we still prepare for growth in 2026, we cannot confirm it at this stage, which translates
Yeah.
to we don't know.
Exactly, Neil, and kind of the market, at least in my opinion, was giving them the a-okay that 2025 was going to be a we don't know year. It was mainly going to be more of a stable year. It was going to what I think they were calling it the inflection point. This was going to be quiet until 2026, and even past the kind of slowdowns that we're seeing with a lot of the manufacturing and fabs and kind of geopolitical issues, the past 2 quarters, which somewhat were affected by something, they always continued to say that 2026 was still a growth year. This is the first time, and now we're only 2 quarters away from 2026, and now they're telling us this late in the game that now they can't confirm this anymore. And I think this is what's really kind of creating that fear for investors. And I mean, a few things here on the second paragraph. We did see that DRAM is testing out lithography solutions, which is great. I'm expecting some of that to be EUV adoption, as we are kind of seeing certain players starting to use it for things like HBM. And that's kind of like a potential market opportunity, especially as we go into further generations of HBM. Regardless, I think the first question here is like, wait, we're not seeing any growth in 2026. What does this mean for AI companies like AMD, like NVIDIA, like TSM? I don't think it means as bad as maybe what the market might think. TSM already has massive amount of supply chain lines. It's just saying that right now they don't need even more supply chain lines. They're not running at that 100% utilization rates. They don't see that demand right now to be building these supply chain lines. But I do believe it's coming. I think it's coming. I think when the consumer space really picks up in the AI industry, because those are where the real numbers are in forms of chips. That's where the volume comes out of. I think we're going to start to see better orders here from ASML. Someone mentioned it here in the comments. I can't find it really quick, but it was like there's no AI growth without ASML. Partly true. I agree. Especially, I believe it's more in the consumer side, because that's where the true volume lies. But I do think this is creating a lot of fear, and it makes me want to look at the stock a little bit more, because I think long term this is going to be a great play.
Yeah, we're going to have a listen to the commentary from management, because they're probably going to explain a bit more in that video. One thing that's great, of course, is that yeah, exactly. They are buying back quite a lot of shares, and also paying a dividend. They purchased around 1.4 billion euros worth of shares under their current 2022-2025 share buyback program. I do wonder if they're going to increase it pretty soon. Let's see if they mention something. No, this is the end of that one. We can look at the slides
Um,
actually. We can definitely look at the slides because I want to see the split, maybe the split, and then maybe the geographies where they did sell if it wants to load.
Sometimes, Neil, here I just download it. It gives me sometimes that I don't know if it's easier to download and then just open it up in Chrome. Um, I don't know if that's yeah.
Correct. Much better. So let's try and find that slide. Voila, here.
Right here,
This
yeah.
one. This one right here. So this is the top one is the current quarter that they reported. The bottom one is
Versus
Q1.
last quarter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can basically see what changed. Well, we have a big change here with the end use, right? Memory basically went from 42% of net system sales to just 31% right now. And as for geographies, actually, let me just zoom in a little bit more. As for geographies, well, seems to be well, no, Taiwan actually. So
Uh,
that's interesting. So Taiwan
yeah,
went from 16% to now 35%. China basically remained the same. US
yeah.
went from 16 to 10. South Korea
Nice.
from 40 to 19. So
Yeah. So I mean, first the South Korea and the Taiwan makes sense, right? South Korea is very memory dependent. So last quarter, memory was a bigger portion. South Korea was a bigger portion. This quarter, logic was a bigger portion, and logic tends to flow a little bit more, obviously, in Taiwan with TSM. So that seems pretty cool. Um, so USA is still 10% here, which is nice. Japan is really increasing. And this kind of gives us an indication of where fabs are being built. Right, we know TSM is expanding in the United States. We're also knowing that expanding in Japan. We're seeing some of those. I would guess those are some of the shipments there. I know there's another Japanese player that is thinking of doing advanced manufacturing. I forget the name of it, but I wonder if those are some of the tools for that player as well. I'm actually surprised. Europe, Middle East. Well, Europe, you have, I guess, the plants in Germany, and there's some plants in Germany, so that might be in the EMEA area. Because I don't think there's any in the middle that I know of in the Middle East or Africa that are building. So I guess that has to be somewhere in Europe, and some of the players there. Rest of Asia, okay, but USA is still 10%. Nice. I mean, I don't from 16% to 10% obviously sucks, but USA has been spending a lot of money there, and that gets me actually pretty excited.
question. No, maybe not a question. TSM Arizona, they
Mhm.
got their advanced EUV machine last quarter or 2 quarters
Uh,
ago.
I think it's been a while because they definitely been running some supply chain lines. And the other thing is, I wonder how they expand it, right? If it's just like how many lines they have, how many machines they need. I know they definitely had some machines original. Oh, Cephal, thank you. Israel. Yes, I forgot about Israel. You have Intel there. Completely forgot about that one. But you have a few semiconductor fabs there. I know Intel's a big player in Israel. So I forgot about that. Appreciate that. But I don't know how they kind of build these systems in forms of time. I know it's been a while, but you can keep getting them more and more as they do expand, right? They have phase one, phase two, phase three, and phase four.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of see Arizona being one that just continues to get more equipments over time.
Yeah, plus Intel,
Hmm. Yeah,
probably.
Intel.
Intel in the US, I think
Hmm.
got the
I mean,
first.
in the US, you also have Micron technology here, and then for the DUVs, uh, um, you have Texas Instruments.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of other smaller players, Global Foundries. So there's definitely a nice amount, but the big ones, like you mentioned, are Intel and TSM here in the United States. I'm not too familiar about the Samsung plant here in the US. I don't follow Samsung that much.
Yeah, I think we talked about last week or something, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it's last week. There was some reports of it slowing down. Which okay, fine. Um, let's see. Yeah, so look at this for example.
Mhm.
Cash return. I mean, share buybacks right now is already higher than last year, and we're mid 25 at the moment. That's crazy.
But I always read this, Neil. I think this is cumulative. So that's just adding still
Yeah, but
the previous ones.
is it or is it cumulative? Wait. In Q2, we repurchased 2.3. Okay. Huh.
Because that's 1.4 billion. Right. You won't have 1.4, and on the side it's about 40 billion or so in euros. Or you can see that y-axis is about 40.
Correct.
So there's no way that makes sense. It has to be cumulative throughout its lifetime, which I always found pretty weird, right? But I mean, I wish they would give us a little bit more, a little better. The dividend is not cumulative though.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, yeah. Okay. That's a
Yeah.
bit confusing indeed.
Yeah.
That's a bit confusing indeed.
That's usually one of my pet peeves about this has been that cash return, share buyback and dividend pay thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, shouldn't be that difficult to tell us exactly like how it looks each and every year. Uh, so yeah, should be doing better. Should be doing better. So as for the outlook, they expect Q3 net sales to be between 7.4 to 7.9 billion euros. And Marco, no problem. Yeah. So Marco said, yeah, of course they beat because the dollar is weak. But yeah, he forgot that they report in euros. And so if they were to report in dollars, it would have been much better for them actually. But yeah, it is what it is. Gross margins actually coming down, so between 50 to 52%. We're now closer to 54. And then for fiscal year, still expected to grow around 15%. Gross margins 52%. So I mean, 25 is still a growth year, right? 15% growth, I think, is still quite good. The question now is going to be yes around 2026 and onwards, because we did talk about it a while ago, right? We talked about the fact that TSM, Intel, even Samsung have said that look, we made significant investments in the most advanced ASML products. We think we can utilize it for many years now, and we're not ready to commit to the next one because the next one is expected to cost double what the last one has cost, I think. And so maybe that's also one of the reasons. But like we said, once there is just one of these players that orders the next machine, the others will have to follow because you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love, maybe we can jump into the video here, some other thoughts there. But I mean, I don't. This is uh, this is one of those stocks I feel that sometimes because of the AI boom, many think you're going to see massive growth right here. And there's certain stocks, I think there's a bucket of like, there's stocks with the AI boom increasing, you're going to get massive growth. The companies like AMD, Nvidia, and stuff like that. Then with the massive boom of AI, there's some that might get growth, but not to those similar types of levels. I think that's where kind of ASML falls into. You have a nice tailwind. It gives you a reason to continue to invest in these tools, but to these tools produce a lot of chips in an hour or per day. You're not going to buy thousands of these tools, right? You're not. It just doesn't work like that. You're only going to buy a selective few. The manufacturing players, they need to also be careful because they need to understand that they don't want to build too many supply chain lines, because what happens when the market drops, then you have all these supply chain lines not doing anything, or manufacturing lines not doing anything, and that's going to hurt your margins dramatically. So I think it's going to be a stock beater, a market beater. I just don't think it's going to be that excitement of like a crazy growth story. Regardless,
Hmm.
still pretty good in my opinion for, like I said, market beater. which is great.
they're very profitable, which is great for them, which means they can buy back more shares if the stock does remain low, which would then increase EPS eventually, and so on and so forth. Let's have a listen to what they have to say. It's 15.
Hello, and welcome to ASML's Q2 2025 video. Roger, can I start with you by asking you to give us a summary of our Q2 2025 results?
Absolutely. Revenue came in at 7.7 billion euros. Part of that was also the revenue recognition for one High-NA tool in the quarter, and included in the 7.7, 2.1 billion of install base revenue. Gross margin came in at 53.7%. That was above guidance. The 7.7 was at the high end of the guidance. 53.7 at the above guidance. What are the reasons why it was higher? A couple of reasons. First off, there was install base revenue in there, upgrades. As we said before, we're upgrading some of the 3800s that we shipped before. We're upgrading them in the field. And that leads to upgrade revenue, and that has a positive impact on the gross margin. Secondly, we had some one-off cost benefits in the quarter. Thirdly, actually the tariffs panned out to be a bit less negative than we anticipated. So those are the positives. On the negative side, we had, as I mentioned before, we had one High-NA tool that we recognized for revenue in the quarter. That still has a dilutive effect on the gross margin, but all in all, that led to strong gross margin, 53.7%. Order intake. 5.5 billion for the quarter, included in there 2.3 billion for EUV. Net income for the quarter came in at 2.3 billion.
And as a follow-on question, can you also provide some guidance on the Q3 quarter, please?
For Q3, we expect revenue between 7.4 billion and 7.9 billion. We expect a gross margin between 50 and 52%. 2 billion approximately install base revenue is what we're expecting for the quarter.
Christophe, if I can turn to you and ask, can you give us a view on how you're seeing the short-term market dynamics as they are today?
Yes, so I think as we have said in the previous quarters, artificial intelligence is currently the main driver for growth for both logic and memory. If we look at logic, we expect logic to grow compared to 2024 because our customers are adding capacity in the most advanced node. Memory remains very strong because they also, our customers are investing in their latest HBM and DDR product. When we look at China, we expect China revenue to be over 25%, which is in line with our backlog. Going into 2026, there the fundamentals of our AI customer remain strong, and we are still preparing for growth. However, as we discussed last time, the level of uncertainty is increasing, mostly due to macroeconomic and geopolitics consideration. And that includes, of course, tariff.
And with those insights, Roger, can you give us some more color then on how you see 2025 for ASML and our business?
Yeah, so if you look at the different components and the different technologies, so if we start with EUV, I think as Christophe already mentioned, obviously AI is largely driving the latest nodes, both on logic and on DRAM. And of course, that is a big driver for EUV because EUV is more and more significant, if you like, on those leading nodes. For instance, if you look at DRAM, we do see that customers are more and more shifting towards EUV and have more and more layers on the latest node, but also on future nodes for DRAM. So that's of course a positive for EUV. If you then look at the total capacity expansion that our customers are looking for when it comes to this, you're looking for EUV, you're looking at approximately 30% extra capacity that they are looking for. Of course, as you know, the 3800 tool that we have has significantly improved throughput in comparison to its predecessor. So we're actually able to accommodate that 30% increase of capacity that customers are asking for. We're actually able to accommodate that with about the same number of tools for EUV Low-NA as we had it last year. And then if you look at the full picture then for EUV, so with that number of tools with higher throughput, and you add to that the number of High-NA tools that we're recognizing revenue this year, then you're looking at approximately a 30% increase of the EUV business. Deep UV and application business about the same, so about the same as we had last year. Install base business, we talked quite a bit about that previous quarter and also this quarter. So on the one hand, we have the upgrade business, which is strong, particularly I would say in the first half as a result of what I mentioned before, the upgrades that we do on the 3800 in the field. So that was a big boost, I would say, in the first half. In the second half, you will see a sustained improvement of our service business. Tools coming out of warranty, particularly the EUV tools coming out of warranty, and therefore the service on those tools really, adding to the service revenue. If you take that all together, then on the installed base business, you're looking at approximately 20% increase. If you piece it all together for total ASML, we're looking at approximately 15% increase for 2025 in terms of revenue over last year. And we expect a gross margin of approximately 52% for the full year. In terms of revenue, final comment there, you will see, obviously, as we mentioned before, that the second half of the year is bigger in terms of revenue than the first half. And within that second half year, you will see that revenue, based on our current shipment plan, is very much also skewed towards the last quarter.
And if we dive a little bit into the gross margins, I think last quarter you said that you would expect the second half of the year to be a little lower than the first half. Can you remind us again on what some of the drivers are for that?
That's right. So if you look at a few data points, so as I mentioned before, gross margin for the quarter, 53.7%. If you look at the gross margin for the first half, 53.8%. As I mentioned, we expect for the full year approximately 52%. And as I mentioned before, we're looking at 50 to 52% for the third quarter. Why 52% for the full year? So why is it going down a bit in the second half? A couple of reasons. First off, as I mentioned before, the upgrade business on the 3800, we expect that to decline a bit, and that is a big driver of gross margin. Secondly, we had some one-off cost effects that will we expect not to be there. And we will have a bit more dilutive effect of the high-NA tools that we talked about, and we'll have more high-NA tools recognized in revenue in the second half than we have in the first half. So that all brings you to approximately 52% for the full year. Of course, a little bit dependent on what's going to happen on the tariffs.
I think you spent a bit of time last quarter talking about the effects of tariffs. Can you remind us again, in short, how you see that progressing and the potential impacts there?
So tariffs, last quarter we talked about direct effect and indirect effect. If you look at the direct effect of tariffs, the things we mentioned at that point in time, first off, obviously, when we send new systems to our customers in the United States, there could be tariffs on that. So that's the first one. The second is if we send parts for manufacturing in the United States. So that's the second component. The third component is if we send parts for service in the field operations in the United States. And the fourth one, to the extent that other countries would be putting tariffs on, parts or modules that get out of the United States into, for instance, the EU, that could be a fourth category. We're looking at all of those. We're trying to mitigate, the effect for the entire ecosystem, on all four of those accounts. Last time we spoke about free trade zones that we're looking into to mitigate some of the dynamic, and we are working with the supply chain and with our customers to at least make sure that the impact for ASML is as limited as possible. And then obviously there is the indirect impact, to what extent could tariffs, what kind of impact could it have on the overall macroeconomic situation? Quite frankly, Jim, it's all very uncertain. But both the direct and the indirect impact are still very uncertain. So we just have to navigate that as best as we can.
Christoph, if I can turn to you, and maybe if you can give us an update on where we are on our roadmap from a technology point of view and some of the highlights perhaps from the quarter.
Yeah, so let me start with EUV, of course. So I think we continue to make very good progress on both low-NA and high-NA. And this really allows us to build a portfolio that will address our customer needs when it comes to technology roadmap, but also optimization of their cost of technology. On the NXE 3800, we now ship all our system in final specification, 220 wafer per hour, which is 37% more than what we had on the NXE 3600, so a major boost of productivity. We have done also a lot of upgrades to 220 wafer per hour on the installed base, and we are in track basically to complete all those upgrades by the end of the year. Now, I think we explained that already a few times, this tool, thanks to the higher productivity, really allow customer to shift more multi-patterning layer to single expose. So this basically allow customer to reduce complexity, reduce yield loss, improve cycle time. And we have seen that happening quite a bit in the last few months with DRAM, where for the last nodes, we really see a shift basically towards more EUV layer. And this is, of course, in our case, a nice increase in litho intensity. high-NA, we are continuing to mature the platform with our EXE 5000 system, which is at several customers. So this is basically the work we do with our R&D customer to prepare the technology for high volume manufacturing. And for that, we have shipped our first EXE 5200, which is the tool that is going to be used in high volume manufacturing. The tool is under install, And as a reminder, this will provide our customer with 60% productivity improvement compared to the 5,000. So we're talking about 175 wafer per hour. So now, we are starting also to prepare insertion in high volume manufacturing. All of that, of course, as I mentioned on low-NA, will help us over time as low-NA EUV gets into multi-patterning, will allow us basically to also shift again some more layer to single expose High-NA to continue this trend. Short word about DUV as well. As our customer move to more advanced node, they also need better DUV machine. That's true for immersion, that's true for KrF, and also our latest product, the NXT 2100, our latest immersion tool, the NXT 870, our latest KrF tool, are seeing good adoption and good performance of our customer to respond basically to this need. So overall, I would say great progress on technology. I think we are validating that better cost of technology allow us to translate more multi-patterning layer into single expose, and I think we have done good progress on our litho intensity.
If I switch again back to you, Roger, and talk a little bit about our cash. So we ended last year with quite a good position there. Can you expand a little bit then on what our plans are in terms of managing the cash towards shareholders?
Well, so capital allocation, some comments there. So we did quite some share buyback this year. In the last quarter, we did for 1.4 billion worth of shares we purchased back from the market. In terms of dividend, in Q2 we paid the final dividend of for last fiscal year at an amount of 1.84 euros, and that got the total dividend for 2024 to 6.40 euros. For Q3, we expect to pay our first interim dividend at an amount of 1.60, and we expect that to be payable by August the 6th.
Then to finish up, Christophe, can you give us an overview again of where you see maybe more longer term the market and what that means for ASML and our business in the long term?
Yes, I think long term the semiconductor market remains very strong, and I think a lot of people say that AI is really a great opportunity, and we have seen again the fundamentals around AI to be very, very strong. Now, of course, short term, Roger talked about it, some uncertainty, there's a lot happening, discussion around tariff, export control, macroeconomic uncertainties, all of that is also part of the things we have to manage. As we discussed in the Capital Market Day, the shift of our customer towards more advanced logic, advanced memory will also drive the need for more advanced lithography, and this will basically be a good thing for litho intensity. The progress we make on our EUV roadmap with low-NA, High-NA, providing the right cost of technology, will continue to allow us basically to convert more multi-patterning layer to single expose. And we will see that happening in the course of the next few years. So in terms of long-term forecast, we remain consistent with what we have said in our Capital Market Day. We see an opportunity for 2030 of a total revenue between 44 and 60 billion euro and a gross margin between 56 and 60%.
Great. With that, thank you, Christophe. Thank you, Roger.
Oui, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. For
An
those
interesting
that
way
are
to do the earnings
confused,
call.
I like it actually, because it's
Yeah.
like it's 15 minutes. You get all the info. Of course, you don't get analysts that will
Q&A.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But at least here we get. I mean, when you hear them speak and say everything that they've just said, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like he said 26 is a growth year, but they just don't want to commit to a specific
To one
number.
number. Yeah. But it does seem like the chat in general thinks there is kind of like a lot of excuses being used by management. For example, they talked a little bit about why I think someone brought up a great point here. It's like if the US barely makes up a good portion of this company's total revenue, why is tariffs going to be such a major impact, right? And stuff like that. So, I mean, I do think in the short term, they're trying to find some form of excuse, but I do believe long term there is the opportunity of so much growth happening in this space. It's pretty cool that they shipped their first 5,200. That was pretty cool. It's pretty interesting how they do it, right? They ship the 5,000 series, which is more just an R&D tool, and then from there they kind of ship the actual manufacturing. What really I don't know. The only thing, anything really catch your mind, caught your attention there, Neil?
No, I mean, I'll actually show the, because we all always talk about the net system sales revenue, but we know that once the install base increases, they generate they generate a significant amount here from service. And they did talk about that as well. So this is what is or has happened with that segment of the business. Okay, you can clearly see it's peaking here at the December quarter, but every single time we are going higher and higher and higher as the install base does increase. And they talked about some of the machines that are out of warranty that will need more and more servicing. That should be increasing as well. And of course, all of this is available on fiscal.ai. Link is down in the description to get 15% off. You can see service and field option revenue increased by 51% year over year. Yes, it's true, it's increasing over a very, very weak quarter. But this, I expect this trend up and to the right to continue as more and more machines do, well, leave ASML, go to other companies. Some of these machines are out of warranty. They will need more servicing here as well. So this is again one of the good businesses that they have, cash flow business. And so, yeah, this should not be slept on at all.
Yeah.
Answering your question, I mean, they talked a bit at the start about memory players, right? Memory, DRAM, using more and more advanced
EUV.
technology. Yeah. So that's good. That's good to hear. We know for sure that Micron and SK Hynix have been using that for HBM. Wouldn't be surprised if Samsung have ordered that as well. So that was good to hear. Margin wise, they explained why it is coming down. I mean, they've explained us why it went up last time because again that product mix. But yeah, all in all, I do maybe want to. We can go actually look here at the summary already. Their 2030 guidance, right? The 2030 guidance, we know that margins for this year, gross margin for this year is going to be 52. So it's a bit lower than where we're at right now this quarter. But if we end fiscal 25 at 52%, and they expect gross margins to be between 56 to 60% by 2030, some margin expansion for the next couple of years. Now the revenue, okay, between 44 and 60 billion euros. It's a big. That's a 16 billion euros difference that
That's
we should be
huge.
expecting. But then again, yeah, it is in 5 years.
It's 5
and,
years. Yeah.
And like they said, a lot of things can change tariff-wise. Not just tariffs. Like people say, "Oh, tariff is just an excuse." It's not an excuse. It's quite a lot of money because these machines are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? It's also exports control, right? ASML is also getting hit by exports control, despite it being a Dutch company. So it remains to be seen how these things will evolve. We've seen, of course, the mix, right, between Taiwan, China. By the way, yes, China was previously at, I think, 40+%, 49% at one point. But that was because there was a huge backlog, right? There was a huge issue before because of the pandemic. So it's just the natural flow of things. Now we're back to what they expected it to be. So it's not like, oh, they're losing a lot of business in China. No, it's just that there was a lot of backlog before that needed to be served, basically. So that went to 47, 49%. Now we're back in the 20s. We are going to talk about the PPI report in just a bit.
Yeah, just some quick comments. I agree with Ronald here. I think they are being conservative, which I think is wise, right? I think overall, long term, they still give us great growth opportunities. Manuel mentioned the stock is down roughly 8.5%, and he kind of suggests to Nickel, don't sell on emotions. I would agree. I mean, I don't think if I was I'm not an ASML shareholder. I don't think there's anything with the overall semiconductor ecosystem that would make me sell out if I had shares. Obviously, to buying, I believe this is still going to be a market grower, market beater over time. It's just I just have other players on the top of the line, but I can see the opportunity here. It's definitely there, especially if you want a little bit more mature company, all right, and not looking for those crazy growth stories. Neil, thoughts here? If you wanted to buy the dip on ASML, would you buy now or wait? Thoughts there, Neil?
Good question. I mean, maybe we could be looking at the chart real quick to see if some black magic can be done on it. But let's
Yeah.
actually see it, because business wise, we know it's not the cheapest one out there. It's never been cheap because it is, again, a monopoly, and a monopoly does get a premium from the market. And by the way, for those that do wonder, you can buy it in dollars and in euros, right? It's listed on both exchanges. So,
and Victor says it really well. I mean, nothing has changed here, Neo. And I saw there was a question that came out, was like, the chances of China having something in the lithography 5 to 10 years. I think it's no black magic here, but I think it's, especially in EUV, I would say closer to zero than anything else. It takes some massive engineering to do something like this.
Yeah. So right now, it does seem like we are about to open. It's already open in Europe, but we're about to open in the US, right on the 200-day moving average.
Black magic.
Yeah, exactly. So do with that information what you want. That blue line here, I drew this a long time ago. So I don't know why I did it. Maybe because it was a top or a bottom, but whatever. It's been here before. We are about to open just on the 200-day moving average. RSI was high, but not overbought going into this report. And so again, it's a very strong company. That's the thing. It's a very strong company. It was a good report. Market was probably expecting a little bit more, maybe less uncertainty. But yeah, that's about it. If you want to play the technicals, it is going to open on top of that 200-day moving average. Doesn't mean it cannot go lower or under it, but just saying.
Yeah. And I think this is what the market is currently trying to decipher, is are they making excuses right now, or just being conservative and giving some reasons for that conservatism? I think it's more of the second, the latter, over the prior. I think they want to be conservative. And with these tools, right, Neil, you're only selling a few a year. So if someone ends up not buying in Q4 of, like, let's say 2026, and they buy it in Q1 of 2027, is it really that big of a deal? That machine is still being shipped and still being sold for hundreds and hundreds of million. So it's I'm not buying, but I'm not. I wouldn't be selling at these levels. I don't think there will be anything scary. I wonder what it's doing to the semiconductor market, though, Neil. Are we seeing any traction on pre-markets? Let me open up TradingView on my end real quick to see
I was
my
about
semiconductor watch list.
So I found out why I drew this this blue bar. So it seems like previously 754 or so has been a top back here, July 23. January 25, and now maybe it can be a support area for the stock. Like I said, it is also now at the 200-day moving average. Let's have a look at NVIDIA.
I was looking. I think the biggest impact, Neil, I saw is obviously going to be on the equipment players. So I do see kind of like Lam Research is down about 3% right now. Applied Materials is down about 3% right now. Clack Corporation, a lot of these semiconductor equipment, because these are definitely the ones that should be closely correlated to these. These are where the kind of big companies are spending. So that makes sense. I don't think I saw much of a movement on the actual chip players themselves.
TSM,
which I think I like it. The market, it means the market is understanding the difference between ASML and some of these other players. Now, it's weird to say, though, but if ASML would have been very bullish, I do think the semiconductor market would have ripped, because that meant more supply chain lines are coming, and more supply chain lines equal even more and more chips. But less supply chain lines, which is funny, less orders doesn't mean less supply chain lines, and doesn't mean less chips. It just means that the amount of supply lines that they have right now is more than enough to still be handled, to handle what we're having right now. Which is not necessarily bad, because we don't know if everything is being used 100% right now, which is not. But it's good to understand that distinction between the two.
Yeah, and like some are saying here in chat, if you want to own it, of course, don't go all in, especially not right now with such a reaction. You can open up a position, see what the stock does, because after earnings, after a reaction, usually what you do get is like a day or two where the market is trying to figure out where we're going with this one. And so, yes, you can take advantage of an overreaction, but don't throw all the money in it at one point. Now, as you've seen, and it makes sense, right? AMD, Nvidia, even Micron, Marvell is down a tiny bit, but not by much. But a lot of these players, other than these players that are being put in the same basket, which are the manufacturing players, which makes sense. The other ones, yes, if ASML would have reported good, let's say, insane guidance, it would have been great across the board, because that means that there is just too much demand. And so all of the, like the TSM, the Samsung, and the Intels are ordering more machines, and Texas Instruments and all of that as well. But just because right now they said that, 2026, they still expect growth, they just don't want to commit to a specific number, that doesn't mean that AMD, Nvidia, Intel, Micron, and all of those players are not going to grow and continue to grow. No, they will continue to grow because they are using what's already existing at TSM, for example. Right? TSM has already ordered a bunch. That's why we've seen such huge growth before. TSM, by the way, TSM is reporting tomorrow, so make sure you're joining us tomorrow. But we already know that revenue-wise, TSM is doing very, very well. And so for the rest, right, for our, let's say, our players, these things don't change right now. We don't change our opinion based on what ASML just reported, because we still know and think that they will be doing well in the future. NVIDIA, AMD, and all of that are anyways using machinery that TSM already has today.
Yeah. Agree there, Neil. And there were a few questions asking about, I think Marvell is down about 2.5%. I couldn't find any news really impacting this right now. So I wonder if it could be maybe someone big selling. There might be some internal information that we haven't heard just yet.
Or the market thinks it's being impacted because of ASML.
Yeah, which is weird, right, Neil? Because everything else is not.
No.
Maybe ASML might maybe Marvell
Even
might just be a
Broadcom
low
is
volume stock. Maybe it might be just a lower volume play that it can really be moved by just a few sale orders here and there. But I can't really see anything for that. So I'm at SSB. My apologies. I'm not seeing any reason for the drawdown right now, which is 3%. I guess the only thing is like what you mentioned, is if it's being somehow correlated to ASML, which would be really, really weird.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else we want to cover on ASML, or maybe we should look at some...
No, I think we can move on unless we have any questions here.
I mean, we'll go over the questions anyways.
yeah.
But I know some people wanted to see the PPI report that came out. So that rose 2.3% below expectations of 2.5%. Core PPI increased 2.6% compared to the forecast of a gain of 2.7%. So here again, cooler than expected. Yesterday, we've had the CPI report where the core numbers were also a bit cooler than expected. And so, yeah, I guess let me actually look at what the markets are doing right now, because we did not do that at the start. So let me pull this one up. First up, we have the 10-year, which sits at 4.45, which means it did go up. Yeah, over the past month, it did go up. We were at 4.22. Then we have a Jensen here for Jose. Voilà.
Oh my God, the go.
Do you think he'll ever come on our stream? I think we should try. I think we should try.
Let me text him real quick. Let me just text him. I know he's always busy, so I just don't want to bother him sometimes. But if you give me the word, I'll text him.
Yeah, maybe we should. So Europe right now is green. Not by much, but it's green at the moment. Asia is red, I'd say. Pre-market in the US right now, we are still green. Still green at the moment. Oil is down a little bit. Euro dollar 1.16. I believe it was at 1.15 for like about 5 minutes or so. So that's the major overview right now for the market, because of this, basically because of this. So Voilà, that was ASML. Of course, if you have still some questions around the company
Yeah.
or what other companies they can impact, do ask us in the comment section below.
I'd like to start right here. So, person's waiting. I think I'm gonna wait for TSMC's earnings and then decide if I want to increase my TSM ASML position or just hold some more cash for a red day. I would just say if you're looking to increase ASML, a massive U-turn could happen tomorrow, and that massive U-turn is TSM. Right, stock prices drops today on these ASML thoughts. Tomorrow, TSMC can come out and say, "Look, I'm actually increasing my capital expenditure one more time." They already increased it. I think they announced an increase in last quarter. If they increase it tomorrow, that's going to make equipment players jump up, as most of that money is going to go to equipments because that's what they pretty much need. That's what they need. So I would say that's the fun part about the market is when you get the news, it already when you get more information, the market reacts to it instantly. So if one is expecting TSM to increase capital expenditure tomorrow or announce some positive thoughts, then that could pretty much re-give you the losses that maybe ASML lost today. So just something to think about when waiting for something like that. I agree. Sometimes it's great to wait for more information, right? Neil, it makes perfect sense to become more to de-riskify yourself by getting more information. But when you de-riskify yourself, you're also de-growthifying yourself. I don't know if that's a word, but limiting a little bit more of the top.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Russell here asking, by the way, Russell, thank you for becoming a member. Does the EU AI Act have any effect on the uncertainty? They've asked for a delay, but EU are going ahead anyways. Good question. Good question. That, I mean, they didn't really talk about it, so I've seen that European CEOs have asked not to go ahead with it. So yeah,
Neil,
I
I'm
don't
not
know,
too
man.
familiar with the EU AI Act. Do you have any top lines of this? Is this more of just like preventing? Is this more of
It's a legal framework for
Mhm.
this is an AI overview from Google. Voila. Uh, it's the world's first comprehensive legal framework for regulating artificial intelligence. It aims to ensure AI systems are developed and used responsibly, promoting trustworthiness, safety, basically control.
Yeah.
Basically control,
Uh,
which is very bad.
yeah. I think
Very bad.
based on that top overview, direct impact on the ASML, I don't think so.
No.
Right? Because it's this is going to be more for like the AI labs and all that. Indirect, I still
No, I
wouldn't
don't
think
think
so
so.
either. Yeah, if anything, maybe something very, very minimal, but I can't see how. I just don't want to say, I would say a 0% indirect. There could potentially be something that I'm not seeing,
Yeah, but it's more
but I
about
would,
software and
yeah,
startups.
yeah. It doesn't seem like it would be something that ASML investors should be worried or kind of focusing on.
Yeah.
Maybe it could create a sentiment shift. And even though it doesn't have a true direct impact, the market could perceive it as that. And that's a whole different. Yeah, IMS EU is afraid of making a Terminator, AI Terminator. I think that is true.
I think if the EU could have created an AI Terminator, I think it would have created it already, to be honest, but
Yeah.
one that they can control. We can go over some stock specific news in the meantime.
Oh my, something good.
For you, I think, because you still own it.
Yeah, still a little bit down on this one. My friend
So
actually texted me about this morning.
yeah, so Unity got a price target upgrade here from $29 to $35 at
What?
Jefferies, citing upbeat views on its Vector product. The analyst
Mhm.
says the benefits from Vector should build over several quarters and notes solid quarter-over-quarter progress, maintains a buy rating. Tempus here got an
And I think
clearance.
Vector is their new AI solution. Let me just
Correct,
think.
yeah,
Let me
that they
just double.
announced
It is right.
last quarter, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is why the
their
stock
AI
went
powered
up.
platform. Yeah.
Howlet HPE in coordination pact with Elliott. I believe that's the activist investor. Rigetti just hit 99.5% median 2 qubit gate fidelity on the modular. Okay, that's the
When within the sentence, I don't know, like 10 out of the 12 words, I just stop.
exactly. That's the quantum player. Okay, great news, I guess. Great news. We have so more banks reported today. Bank of America CEO said, "We feel pretty good about the outlook for investment banking in the second half. We expect to see loan growth in a mid-single-digit percentage." Good for SoFi, I guess, an upstart. The consumer is still spending more, supported by employment and wages. So, okay, good commentary there. Morgan Stanley revenue, EPS, and net interest income came in better than expected. So that's good. Goldman reported revenue and EPS better than expected.
Big
Net
bank
income,
earnings today.
yeah, net income is down, is up to 22% year over year, but I would say a considerable miss here. Estimated number 4.35 billion came in at 3.72 billion. So a small miss there. Let's see. Oh, we have a nice price target upgrade for NVIDIA. Only a few
Yeah,
more
someone
decades
posted
to
that on
produce
chat. I
more.
forgot to share it.
So NVIDIA to 200, I guess. Makes sense because the price is already above their old price target. Amazon also here gets a nice little price target upgrade. Well, raise, I would say. Google
too, nice.
Yeah, okay, but what
This is a
kind of a
shock.
joke is this?
Yeah.
171 to 196. Come on, man, you have to be in the 200s already. You have to be in the 200s. I do wonder what they say here. But no
YouTube
kidding.
Business Cloud revenue.
Revenue is likely to come near mid 20. So they expect it to come down actually.
Because it was 30s, right?
28.1, I think.
20, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, right now it's definitely just, capacity constraint. So they're a lot of nice upgrades today.
Yeah, from Cantor Fitzgerald, they upgraded Meta, Google, Amazon. Chinese-made iPhones could be banned in the US over theft or trade. See, Bank of America revenue in line, EPS beat, net interest income a beat here as well. Small beat, although. Let's see. Polymarket. 24% chance Trump will remove Jerome Powell in 2025. Now, I tweeted about it. I said, I'm not a big fan of Jerome Powell, but I don't think this is the move at all.
Yeah, I agree.
For him to be fired or even him resigning before the end of his term, I don't think it's a good precedent here at all. Johnson & Johnson killing it, apparently.
Hopefully not literally.
There's some nice shampoos. Oh yeah, GitLab.
You got a downgrade here on GitLab.
Yeah,
I don't like Capital One anyways.
But I did see a raise yesterday for GitLab. So yeah, we talked about ASML, of course, for the first hour of the show, and people will just think, oh, stock is down, it's a bad quarter, but as you can clearly see, it's a beat across the board for the quarter. EU members still favor talks before August 1st for the Trump deadline. Oh no, Palantir got an upgrade here. Mizuho upgrades Palantir to neutral from underperform, raises price target to $135 from $116. I guess, you have to follow. You have to follow the price here. And I think that's about it. We have maybe a little commentary here on Uber. Given the strong execution of Uber's AV partnership, yesterday we talked a little bit about the Baidu one. AVs are not a threat to Uber long-term as it enables a hybrid network of AVs and human drivers and ultimately allows AVs to bring down the cost of ride-sharing over time and for the total addressable market to expand. Yeah, no kidding. I don't have to be an analyst to know that. We don't get paid for our commentary. This, your friends?
Yeah.
NVIDIA CEO says supply chain recovery will take time, but he's pushing to speed it up. He hasn't met with customers yet, and says H20 is still very competitive today, but hopes to get more advanced chips into China over time. Whatever we're allowed to sell, we will. Makes sense. Makes sense. Huawei is a very great technology company. I really want to buy a Xiaomi car. Wait, what? Xiaomi is
I guess
part of
Huawei.
Huawei?
I wonder if the chips within this company, Huawei chips are probably powered by them.
I mean, Jensen
Unless they're together.
should have been powered by NVIDIA. What are you doing, man? And Xiaomi is the phone company for those that don't know. They make phones, and now they are making cars because why not? Why not? I am waiting for maybe a BlackBerry car or a Nokia car. A Nokia car, that would be indestructible. Best battery,
That
indestructible
would
car.
be that insane.
Let's see. CFO for ASML, lifting China chip controls would boost demand. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Okay. I think
All right, let's see.
that was all the news for now. Let's see what we've got here for some questiones.
Yeah. Well, first, I think this should always be said. Be careful out there. Never be careful, especially using leverage or margins. Just hold and get ready. This should be a shirt, even though it'll be too long to read and probably too small text, but it should be a shirt. Let's see. What else do we have? Remember when we all thought Apple would make a car? My God, they didn't. You're muted, noob.
Yeah. I said the cars would have cost you $1 million and it would come without wheels. You'd have to pay extra.
Order, yeah, pay extra. I also want to. This was super smart too. Another just smart advice to be given to the world. I still own an old Sky Blue cell phone using Skynet network. I'm just waiting for the right time to turn it on again. So,
what is a Sky Blue cell phone?
I don't know, but it seems he's prepared for Terminator.
Sky Blue cell phone. Let's see. Sky Blue. It's giving me Samsung Sky Blue color cell phones.
Neil, do you cover this one?
Transmedics, I did own it and covered it before. When I don't know when they'll report earnings, but if they report earnings and we are live, then I guess I will definitely touch on that. They've been having a great year, up 74% year to date. Yes, there was a small pullback of 18% or so since the top in June, but yeah, they've been doing well. Yeah, exactly. 4 wheels is an extra 10K.
I've been hearing about this one a lot, Neil. I think did you talk to me about it recently? But
correct.
Has there been usually when I hear something, it's usually one of the bigger guys out there talking about it. Have we heard? Is this becoming
bigger guys? We are the bigger guys.
I mean, there's still people out there with 1 million, I think, or closer to like 600K.
I think Joseph Carson talked about it.
I don't know that guy. All right, let me Google.
Joseph Carson, the other YouTuber. You definitely seen his channel and stuff.
Nope.
Never?
Never. I just watched Couch Investor. That's it.
That's
just don't ask me what the last episode was. No, it's very rare for me to consume anybody in general. Not literally in form of entertainment, but
yeah, like Cell in Dragon Ball that consumed the androids. No, Shark Ninja it's a very, I mean, it's one of those companies. By the way, I did talk about Shark Ninja a couple of months ago, so I consider myself the big one here. But no, Shark Ninja is a good company. It's a company where I haven't heard anyone say, "Oh, I hate their products." Like always, "Oh, I love their products." And so when you hear that, it's usually a good sign for the stock. Um, for those that are wondering, stock is up 162% over the last 5 years. I mean, over the last 5 years, over the last 3 years, 162 because it didn't go public before. Over the last year, up 50%. Market cap wise, $15.6 billion. Trailing PE 35, forward PE 21.8. Margin wise, pretty good. Gross margins here 48.2. I love how we went from ASML to now Shark Ninja. Again, we do everything.
We do it all.
We do it all. So yeah, free cash flow 3.5, net 7.9, operating profit 11.2%. Revenue over the past 3 years has grown compounded 14%, expected to grow 12.4%, but EPS is expected to grow faster than that, closer to 15% over the next 2 years. So yeah, definitely a very good company and good products, which I think is the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, I always see them at Costco. So if Costco has them, it means it's good. And I'm not in a Costco cult, I promise.
Yes, you are. yes, you are.
But yeah, let's see. Any other questions here?
Yeah, what's going on with CEO for? I don't know. I haven't applied, so I don't know. But it seems like they're taking their time to choose the right CEO at the moment. And I guess Novo is still around the same price as before.
This one's running without a captain right now?
Correct.
How long has that been going on?
Not. I think maybe a month and a half or so. I mean, might seem longer. Might seem because we anyways talk about stocks every single day. But no, I think 2 months tops. I'd say maybe. Remember, Intel was without a CEO for. I mean, okay, co-CEOs they had it, but it's not the same, I guess. Someone here, Marcel. Could you guys go into the ASML earnings call, Marcel? This is what we've been doing for the past hour. This is what we did for the first hour of the show. We basically did ASML.
For all of our stock stuff, we're using fiscal.ai. Make sure to use our link down below. But I mean, I obviously great partners, Neil, but I use them on a daily basis. Literally makes everything so much quicker.
Correct. You have everything from transcript, stock data, financials, company-specific metrics for most of the companies that we own. And I think that most of our viewers own as well. You even have, for some companies, research reports from Morningstar, investor relations, so you don't have to go to the company's websites. You get all of the transcripts here when they report earnings. As you've seen what we did with ASML, the report is here. The slides are here. And if you are...
AI summary.
Exactly. If you are maybe tired a little bit, you can just click AI summary and poof, everything here.
Bam.
So for you, you can also ask it specific questions. Is Neil the GOAT? It will ask if there is... I wonder if there is no mention of Neil the GOAT in this... The provider does not mention anyone named Neil. Such a shame. Such a shame.
Well, it didn't say no.
Exactly. It didn't say no. Plus, you can go in ownership here as well and see who owns the trades, the holders, dividends, if the company does pay dividend, which Alphabet does pay dividend right now. And you can even do some modeling here if you want to play around with that. So definitely do check out fiscal.ai. You will see them basically every time we go live, especially in this earnings season, because they update the platform in a matter of minutes. So that's how we had ASML up and running pretty quick.
Yeah, Palantir, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google wanted us to share this. Palantir, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google. I'll let you share it. Hey guys, can you? That I'm pretty sure that's the tickers, right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you just let everyone know that retail leverage is all-time highs and higher probability for a smart money rug pull? Maybe take a little profits. I'm not taking any profits, but I'm being careful on how what I'm buying. Is all I'm doing. Made
Correct.
profits in my like massive winner. CoreWeave, perfect example. But that was a like 3-4 bagger while I was selling. So scenarios like that, I wouldn't mind taking profits. Richard mentioned he just bought a Ninja air fryer. Awesome oven chips. Thanks for sharing that. I'm getting
Nice.
hungry now.
I haven't
Now,
eaten
Eddie,
until now. It's 3 p.m. here. I haven't eaten a thing the
that
whole
is
day.
wild. Well, it's 3 p.m. there, and I haven't eaten. Either. So there's been a lot of people on Reddit and Twit lately saying that hyperscalers are going to shift from GPUs to ASICs. What do you guys think? I think this is always the topic of discussion. I mean, recently we've seen Microsoft just announce that they are delaying their ASIC solution a little. Not rumors and reports that Microsoft is delaying their ASIC space. I think my thoughts: the AI market is growing at such fast levels. I think ASIC's market share will also grow, but that doesn't mean that Nvidia's market share will lose, but the revenue that they're making is going to be much higher than it is right now, just because this market is growing so quickly. So I think, yes, Google's going to buy a lot more CPUs. Yes, Amazon's going to buy a lot more Trainiums. The overall market share is probably going to shift. But when you look at it in a revenue market, even if Nvidia goes from like 90 to 70 or whatever like that, I still believe even with that shift of market share, the amount of revenue is still going to be much higher than it is right now. And there's always the possibility that these hyperscalers make a mistake in an ASIC solution one day, and it makes no sense for them to design that solution, and then they're just going to go buy the NVIDIA or AMD product instead. So we hear it from NVIDIA CEO. We've heard it from AMD CEO. AI accelerator via GPUs are the way to go for these workloads that keep transforming over time. But ASICs, like Eric has mentioned, are about efficiency, not performance. It's only great for old workloads. For newer workloads, you still want to use kind of your third-party GPUs, AI accelerators, however you want to go. And as long as the AI market continues to innovate new forms of workloads, new forms of training methods, new form of inferencing methods, new forms of data collection, all that, you're going to want to continue to buy that product instead. I also think, the moment one of these hyperscalers stops investing dramatically in NVIDIA or AMD is kind of like the death sentence for that hyperscaler in the short term, because I think the other hyperscalers will take the opportunity to buy more chips and take that market share from them. But it's all dependent on how AI continues to innovate. And I think that's the bigger thing to keep an eye out for. Any thoughts there, Neil?
Nope. You just said it all over the last 20 minutes. So good answer. Good answer.
20 minutes, that's wild.
We did have this question here or comment. We did talk about Symbotic before. I think when people mentioned Symbotic, and I think Serve Robotics as well in the same question. So Symbotic, we did. I maybe never covered it on my channel, but during the live stream, we definitely talked about it before. Dave is a ticker I've seen. Do you know the company, Dave? Because it is a financial.
I don't know. The first thing I thought was Dave and Buster's, but it's definitely not
I
that.
also
That's
thought
Play,
the
right?
same thing. But no, apparently it provides a suite of financial products. It has done very well, actually. It's up 387% over the past 12 months and 135% this year already. Seems like a very good company. It's apparently another one of those neo banks. Market cap $2.6 billion. Margin wise, very good, it seems, over the past 12 months. So yeah, maybe it's worth looking looking at this company, revenue forward 2 years, expectation 26.3% compounded, and EPS 38.6. So I guess we will have to look at it. I guess we will have to look at it a little bit closer. What is CC? Sorry, Ariel, no idea what that company does. Let's see. Rocket Lab. I mean, Rocket Lab has been on a rocket recently, for sure. Analysts have projected triple the amount of GTA sales versus 3 months ago. That's Take-Two, right? Yep. Take-Two. I mean, triple the amount, of course, if they keep on delaying it more and more, maybe more people will be born, then they can buy it. But for the last 3 years, stock is up 93%, year to date up 30%. Let's see. Yeah, we are at all-time highs right now for this company. Revenue is expected to grow 26.6% compounded for the next 2 years, and EPS 73.2%. So a lot more. A lot more. He lives exactly. I've taken over Tony Stark since he's Dr. Doom right now. Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom. Although I do think that in the comics, maybe in the multiverse, there was also this type of thing. But yeah, we'll talk about Avengers another time. Roberto here with the question, Manir Couch, have you looked at TSSI at all? TSSI. Which one? This one? TSS Inc. provides service. The heck happened with this stock?
Sorry, Neil. I just came in and I my apologies. Russell, I'll answer that question in a bit.
No, I got a question here about TSSI. Provides services for the planning, design, deployment, maintenance, and refurbished of end user and enterprise systems. And I don't know, I just looked at the stock price and this thing just went up 4,300% over the past 3 years. What the heck happened here? It's a company worth only half a billion. Something happened. Yeah, okay, this happened.
Massive revenue growth.
Yeah.
Wonder if it was an acquisition base or just their market just picked up?
Good question. Let's see what we got else here. EPS, nothing.
Peace out, Richard.
What do you say?
Peace out, Richard.
Thank you for joining. Hope to see you tomorrow. Let's see. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. Revenue growing that much. Let's see. Why has revenue increased? Let's call it 5. Voila. In the meantime, you can answer the Marvel. We were talking about Marvel, but you can talk about Marvel.
Yeah, I have my headphones on. I just want to go see the little one really quick. So Russell, am I still bullish on Marvel? Yes, I do. I mean, I think there's still the opportunity here for ASIC solutions to grow. And I think Marvel being a smaller player in the 50 billion, 60 billion price point, I don't mind investing in it, but it's kind of like, it's not a startup, but I would put it not as a safe. I think there's some risk behind it, but I'm willing to take that risk because I do see massed opportunity. So the positive that I look outweigh negative that can happen with this stock. But I do enjoy Marvel. I mean, I would say, Russell, if you haven't, take a listen to their AI event that they did on June 17th or 18th. If you go to the investor relation websites, it's about an hour long. They share a lot of great insight there of how the AI market is evolving, how they're evolving with it. And I think that 1 hour presentation can show why I'm pretty bullish into this company.
Okay, so apparently It's because of their AI rack integration. And I'm seeing here that Dell is that they are Dell's preferred partner to build out AI racks for them. So I guess that's why we're seeing such a huge increase.
That is wild.
Huh. Jose, this is one you missed.
Their website really quick.
This is one you missed.
Of course.
You asked me to have a price target alerts, and you missed 20 baggers here. This is something else. This is something else. All right, that's crazy. You go from basically, let's go, I mean, just 2024, from 30 cents to $20. Crazy. Crazy. Which presentation, Jose, for Marvell's? Yes. The last one, basically, no?
Yeah, go to Marvell. If you go to Marvell, I'm going to do go to Marvell's Investors Relations website. And once you click there, it's going to be featured. It's going to be the first special event there. It's called Custom AI Investor Event.
Basically, you can also do this on fiscal.ai, by the way.
Oh, yes, obviously. So, yeah, you can get the transcript there as well.
And the slides. And the AI summary if you are lazy as myself. So it will give you all of the necessary numbers. But yeah, it's basically the last one, June 17. June 17 is the one.
So
Jim Cramer on TSS, that's a pretender, which is probably why it's up so much.
Bullish, buy now. Did we see this one, Neil? I know we were looking at price targets, but I didn't see too many on AMD when we were looking. So it seems Wells Fargo today raised price target on AMD.
We'll check.
To 185 from 120. And then we also see this one, 175 up from 152.
So Wells Fargo and Mizuho, you say? Correct.
I don't think chat will lie to us.
Correct. So we've got...
And we got a lot more people now going to start doing TD on TSSI.
That's why you come. That's why you watch the show. We learn something, you learn something. We make jokes, you make money. We're all happy. Voila. Best show on the planet. So Wells Fargo raised, from 120 to 185. Mizuho from
That's a really big one.
To, I mean, they have to chase, right? So makes sense. To 192. So why are there two? How many Mizuho? Oh, no, that's NVIDIA. I was like,
yes,
that's NVIDIA.
I'm sorry, it doesn't have an AI overview for you.
Indeed. But Mizuho, 152, 175. Everybody got a price target upgrade, which is maybe also a signal of maybe a top.
Yeah.
Remember when the analysts had like price targets for SMCI when it was like super high? It was like $1,000 or something like that. And then it crashed literally like a week or two later.
All right, clip it. Neil just called the top a week or two from now.
I called the top. Chat called the top when he said we shouldn't go full ape leverage and all of that, which is true.
Which is true. Right? Very great advice, but that's the top. Chat called it.
I mean, we did place YOLO bets, so
that's also the top.
Yeah, so maybe that's a good indication. Russell said it was great. He just not seen any news recently. Expect the stock I own. Oscar, Oscar has become a very popular stock recently. I actually wonder if we got more downgrades of Oscar today, because every single day over the past week, I think Jose had to listen to this Oscar company, and every time I talk about it, it's like, oh, we got another downgrade. Let's see.
Oh, this guy's funny. That's pretty funny. I like this.
He's always the guy predicting the score of a I mean that's basically most analysts.
It's hanging in there, right, Roberto?
I think
Let's
that's
see
most
what is-
analysts. Actually, let's have a look at a couple of stocks.
Hey, nice.
So Oscar, let's see. So Oscar still around close to $15. What about our bet? Actually, yeah. Ah, did you see this?
I did 2%
Big-
up. I was waiting for you to see it.
Big bucks. No, I didn't even know we closed yesterday at $10. In my
Oh,
head,
you
we were still
didn't?
in the low nines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, don't look at it anymore then.
Yeah, no. Maybe I have to look at CoreWeave. Yeah,
Back
but
to the 140s somehow, except
Yeah.
pre-market it dropped, but back in the 140s. I was shocked how quickly this moved back up. But again,
Yeah.
you're
even Core's very good
Yeah.
rebound here on the 50-day for Core Scientific. Well, exactly. You've triggered my trap cards. Monster Reborn. Took your time to notice my Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
No, I started to picture whenever you do a chart and it turns around like that, you just put the image of Monster Reborn.
Zeta. Have you guys looked into Zeta today? No, but I did cover Zeta.
You have covered it, right, Neil?
Yes, right around here before it pumped. I did cover it. And if you're gonna tell me, oh, has something
Someone
changed?
has given Neil too much power. We need to take it away from him.
Yeah, maybe that's a sign of a top as well. Like we have to nerf it. But yeah, I mean, I don't own it yet. I like it. I think it's very cheap, and the market is. I mean, it can be bought. Management has hinted, has given us a couple of hints here around maybe an acquisition, being acquired basically. But yeah, good company that is definitely cheap in this market topping environment, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at some other Bitcoin miners. What has happened with them?
Quick question here, Neil. We have one. Any thoughts on Semi? SSB, I like on Semi. I own it. This is one of those that I think is going to be quiet, right? I think there's a lot of growth opportunities when the EV market picks back up, when they see the robotic space, when their solutions start going to data sensors. It has seen a nice rebound for the year, Neil, but I think for the if you look at it in the past longer time frame, it's you can't even see the numbers there. So I like it. I really do believe there's a lot of opportunity in this one, just due to market growth everywhere. So I like on Semi, definitely one, but it's one that I think it's going to be pretty quiet money after this recent rise up, just because we still haven't seen a turnaround in the EV stories. We still haven't seen kind of their overall solutions moving more. Even Wolf is soaring in this market. I think it's not about fundamentals anymore.
No, because
It's about some fun.
No, Wolves was this basically was purely because they mentioned some restructuring, cost savings, and a CFO announcement. So this is what you got, which of course you then get a big crash. So it did correct itself. Like the market did say, oh, wait a second, enough with the hopium here. Let's come back down. Let's come back down a little bit. Let's see what other. We have here. Someone wants a TLDR. You know, Jose, what I want to say?
ASML, okay. Don't go crazy. Something Yu-Gi-Oh card references. Semiconductor market's okay.
It's too long. Didn't watch. There's no reading here. Oh.
Oh my God, Neil. You know what they mean, though.
Yeah. Too long. Didn't watch. ASML is basically the first hour of the show, and then we talk about a lot of other stuff, companies and whatnot. But the majority was ASML. Stock is overreacting, I think. I mean, I guess we'll see now that the markets are open. And by the way, put the stream in Gemini and ask it to summarize the stream for you if you missed it. So That's a good tip from myself. Don't look at the heat map just yet. Just look at the tickers here that are updating every second now, and we'll see.
I'm really curious to see what's happening with Marvell. Why is this down? Marvell's the second down on the semiconductor industry, down about 4%. Buying opportunity for me, maybe. ASML is the biggest, down about 8.7 at the moment, followed by a lot of semiconductor equipment, Neil, down about 3%.
Yeah, Micron is also down 1.4 at the moment. Okay, we'll give it a minute or two to chill out a little bit, and see what we do there. Let's see. Nebius. We cannot talk about Nebius because Jose wants to enter, and every time I talk about it, it just goes up and up and up. So
yeah, I blame you guys.
Yeah,
literally.
Rude. I like Nebius. We like Nebius. Everybody likes Nebius, but we like Nebius at $40 even more, even more.
Unity up 11%. Nice. 12%.
Marvell.
I'm not sure what's happening with ARM. ARM Holdings is up about 5% today. And I wonder if they got a price target upgrade.
This thing just, I don't know.
That's wild, yeah.
Because ARM is definitely one of these most expensive ones out there. Like you would think we would see like a quarter where they grow 50% quarter over quarter, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Let's see. Rocket Lab keeps going up. Very nice. Iron is up. SoFi is up 1.7.
I think it's that.
The one that should not be named is up also 2.9, almost 3%. We're going to make big bucks. I saw you said you're going to Atlantic City. Are you already cashing out? What is this?
Yeah, I'm just going. I got a concert with some friends. Maybe do a little gambling.
Okay. If it's a concert, then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how they hook you in, right? They you go for a concert, you stay for
degens.
For degen stuff.
SoundHound apparently is up 4.5%. Okay. I mean, I don't know based on what, but Marvell being down is a big question.
And this one, because this is the only news I saw that Marvell reportedly plans to use TSMC's 2nm photonics techs for custom chips, with AWS and Meta already as client. The U.S. company is strengthening its position in the ASIC race. This should be positive. I don't get. This is wild. ASML is approaching 10%. What is this? Can we look at charts real quick, Neil? Do your black magic on this one.
Yes, sir. Which one?
The one on ASML.
Sorry. Is down 9.6%. So we are officially under the 200-day moving average. Not
Christian
great.
is funny.
Yeah.
PayPal. Bravo. The world is sane again.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if there is some buying activity today, and if not, again, just give it for ASML. I'm talking about. I just give it like
Sorry, I was just looking at SoundHound is up about 5%. I'm not a fan when things like that are.
Peter, that's because Peter Piper Pizza revolutionizes ordering with SoundHound. I mean, have you not heard about the grandiose Peter Piper Pizza? So I mean, that's
give it a few extra 100 million market cap on that.
The next Papa John's.
Next, we're gonna see corner store, freaking taco shop, uses SoundHound up 200%.
When are they expected to report? August 7. Okay, can't wait for another money burning quarter for them. Let's see PayPal, how much? Down 0.2%. This is not down. This is like a normal day. It's like a normal day for PayPal. Also, basically Yeah, on that 50-day moving average. Rigetti is up 17% because, well, lots of numbers and something error rates have been discovered or not discovered. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
Eddie,
at least he's honest.
low Chinese food spot used to sound. Um,
At least he's honest. Let's see. Micron also down 2% still. Oscar down 1.16. Okay. Nebius is now down, so we can talk about it. Nebius is down just 1%.
no, when you stop talking, it drops. So stop talking it for a week, Neil. All right, thanks.
For a week.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
for a week. Iron is back to 17. Rocket Lab is doing well. Huh. Let's look at Shark Ninja just because we will maybe eat later. Okay,
This is
120.
definitely high chances. I don't want to say yes or no because I haven't have my portfolio open and I'm not in it, but high probability that yes. Worst case, I might just open up I sell a put at these levels, and then if I get exercise them, I'm happy with that stock price, or I just get some form of income. So I'm gonna. This is one that I'm thinking of adding either via pure stock or just sell an option on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange move
Yeah.
by the
There has to be something else. There has to be some insider selling. There has to be some internal news that we haven't heard about that could even create a bigger sentiment for it. But I like it in the 60s.
Okay. Any other stock real quick that we could check? Now that the last question is coming about United Health. We did not talk about United Health today. We're more focused on ASML and then some other semiconductor stocks, but no talk on United Health. Like I said, you will get a lot more information at the end of July. So right now, every report that comes out, whatever attack, you name it, is a lot of noise. I'm just waiting. For what management will tell us at the end of the month during guidance.
And one more final question here, Neil, before we head out. Just about Applied Material. I want to say, I think this ASML downturn in the short term can continue to go down and kind of follow through with a lot of semiconductor equipment players like Applied Material. I think the long-term tailwind for the semiconductor equipment space is still pretty high. So that's pretty much the too long don't watch of the beginning part of the ASML video, but it could be applied to Applied Materials and all these other players. For me personally, Neil, I don't buy Applied Materials. The only real big player I have is Lam Research. This equipment downfall, I'll try to look more into the smaller players. There are some companies like Onto, like Clack, like Click. Other players in the Click and Clack. Yeah. There's other players in the semiconductor industry that are a lot smaller, some below 10 billion. Those are the ones I'm a little bit more excited, but that's because I'm more focused in kind of that growth stage. That doesn't mean I'm bearish in Applied Materials, Lam Research, or ASML. I do believe all those are going to beat the market in the long term of things. I just want to do more than beat the market. I want to destroy the market. Obviously, I take risk with it, but I like the smaller the smaller names instead.
Yeah, and it does seem like, I mean, at the start of the year, Applied Material was already quite close to 200, got rejected there, so it might be a cup and then a handle. We've seen this happen before with a lot of.
I did not notice that, but you did not say Google much today.
Not today. I only mentioned Google once or twice, the Google AI overviews, and then
I remember that. Yeah, and the price target increase.
Yeah, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, we're up. we're up. We're up a little. I mean, I think we're up. This is for the week, so at least the week we're up, and today we're up as well. So we are. We're of course happy. To close it off, let me just show you the heat map one last time, and then we shall disappear for less than 24 hours. But yeah, this is basically it. We've had Micron down, basically ASML bring down these equipment makers. All the rest, I mean, it's pretty boring day so far. Pretty boring day so far for the overall market. PPI report was better than feared, I guess. Is Max going to Mercedes? I think so. I think so. I hope so, because I think they'll be more competitive next year. But if I know more,
I
I'll
wanna
let
go
you know.
eat.
Want to go eat?
I'm
Yeah,
getting
me too.
hangry, Neil.
You are getting? I am here.
It's 3 o'clock over there. I'm getting hangry.
3:40. Haven't eaten a thing the whole day. Doing some fast testing, whatever. I don't know. Trying things out here. So, anyways, that was fun. Thank you all for joining us in this first earnings live stream for this earnings season. Tomorrow we'll be back because tomorrow is TSM.
And we'll be back regardless, because
Exactly. But tomorrow we will be back. We'll do probably the same thing. TSM for the too long
Yeah.
didn't watch people. It's TSM first, and then we'll talk about how that will impact all the rest. If, of course, it does impact the rest. Do you remember if TSM has a? No, it's probably a broken earnings call. No.
I don't know, but they. I mean, I'm always a transcript type of guy most of the time. We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, it was tomorrow. I woke up at 1 p.m. No, I wish. I wish. But yeah, we'll see.